13, pros and cons of living in Annapolis, Maryland, and we're getting started right now.
I'm so excited.
What's happening, folks? My name is Mark, and my number one goal is to showcase every inch of the Baltimore area through our videos so you have a complete understanding of the best area that fits your lifestyle. It's about you. If you're moving about or relocating to Baltimore, Maryland, or the Baltimore suburbs, then subscribe. Tap the bell so you're the first to know about the current market in Baltimore. It's always changing, but I got you covered.
I got this.
Look, we get calls and emails every single day from people just like you. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days does not matter. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email so we can help you make a smooth move to the Baltimore area. Let's dive right in, but make certain now you check out what I have in store for you with number 6 and please, number 13, lucky 13, my number.
That was so lucky.
Look, so I can set the table straight. Annapolis is located southeast of Baltimore. It is a Baltimore suburb, despite what they think about being in their own utopia. Annapolis is all Baltimore, and it's east of D.C. It's the state capital of Maryland, and it's the sailing capital of America. It's home to the U.S. Naval Academy. Number 1 on the list, and this is not in any particular order, but you know, Annapolis has a small town feel. Annapolis, it's quaint. Despite its metropolitan size, most of the buildings there in Annapolis are 3 stories. It's not a congested skyline by any means. The city amenities, it has city amenities for that urban style, but suburban, it's got small crowds. Lots of greenery, and Annapolis resides right along the Chesapeake Bay, the largest estuary in the United States. Gorgeous. Number 2 on the list for Annapolis is awesome cuisine. Awesome food. I don't know why I say cuisine. Awesome food. But it's all about the seafood. It's all about crabs. Crabs. You know, it's got seafood galore as far as rockfish and flounder. But the crabs from, you know, hot steamed crabs at Jimmy Cantler's. You got to check that out. Or go down to Mike's Crab House. It's all about crabs. It's who we are. Old Bay and crabs. You got to check that out. Even if you're not into eating, go with friends. Experience that. Go with family. Sit at Jimmy Cantler's at that table. It's unbelievable. Number 3 on the list for pros about Annapolis, Maryland is a strong economy. The average income in Annapolis is $84,000, well above the national average. And that's because you have DC government jobs, you got the maritime industry, you got Howard County, you got Tenable, which is the largest cybersecurity firm, 20-30 minutes away. You got defense contractors all through that area, education, healthcare. Baltimore Peninsula is a cyber center for Silicon Valley for cybersecurity. You got AIRINC, which is engineering, transportation. The court, we talked about and mentioned that it's a state capital of Maryland, so you got a lot of government, state of Maryland jobs throughout the Annapolis area. Number 4, great outdoors in the water lifestyle. That's what Annapolis is all about. You got Quiet Waters Park, which is well over 340 acres of trails and open space, but you got the Chesapeake Bay. Annapolis, again, it abuts that Chesapeake Bay, that estuary for sailing, boating, crabbing, fishing, paddleboarding, whatever you want to do. It's right there, and it creates that lifestyle, that chill. Bring it down a notch or 2. That's part of that waterfront lifestyle. Number 5 on the list, of course, is active sports scene. When you have the U.S. Naval Academy, you got all Division I sports. You got basketball, you got soccer, you got it all, whether it's women, also men. And of course, during this time of year, fall, you have the football games, and they're epic. To go experience the Naval Academy and watch pure football, it's a great time. There's also, of course, you have St. John's College, the croquet team. Yep, croquet, I say croquet. They've won 31 out of 39 matches versus the Naval Academy, and they have every spring the Annapolis Cup. You got to check that out about St. John's College. They also have sailboat regattas and also boating clubs all through that area. So there's a very active sports scene, and of course you can always plug into Baltimore, but Annapolis itself has that Naval Academy. So it's very active. Number 6 on the list for pros and cons of living in Annapolis, The school systems are above average. Again, I talked about Columbia. I've always noted Columbia, but Annapolis schools are very, very good as far as the public school system. You can check that on niche.com. There are multiple public schools that perform above the national average. Greatschools.org. West Annapolis Elementary School is one to reference. But again, that's something that you're going to have to check out. College enrollment in Annapolis is higher than average, and it's tops in the state. So you check it out. Great schools in the Annapolis area. Look, I know you want the cons. Everybody wants the cons. I got you. But if you're moving about or relocating, moving is a con. It's the worst thing outside of getting divorced, I think. Anyway, I created this free moving guide. It's at your disposal. It's not a con. It's a free, just, click the link below. Check it out. Free moving guide is at your disposal. Come on. You want the cons? I'm going to give you the cons. The cons about living in Annapolis is the cost of living. Please, it's a waterfront lifestyle. The average home price is $474,000, and guess what? It is rising. Supply, demand. Buying a home in Annapolis today will absolutely, here we are, September and October 2023. It's going to be cheaper today than it will be next year. Guarantee it. Average rent, $2,000 a month. Housing is going to be the most significant factor, and it's not unexpected considering the wages are higher than normal in Annapolis. But housing will absolutely eat up most of your budget. It's for real. But you want that lifestyle, you want that pleasant living, that's what it's going to cost you. Look, again, I'm all about eyes wide open. You got to keep your eyes wide open on any of these areas we're talking about, because you got to know what's going on. Number two for Annapolis, one of the cons, tax rates are high. Annapolis has higher tax rates due to being near the waterfront. And there are some areas that charge fees for preserving waterways. It's a fact. And it's a con. It's part of it. We haven't even mentioned the higher property taxes for living in Annapolis. So that's just something that you got to account for in your budget. But you're going to have definitely a higher cost of living. You're going to have higher taxes in that area because you've got to pay to play for that higher, for that waterfront lifestyle. We all want it, or some of us want it. I want it. Look, I got no intention of popping your bubble. I love Annapolis. But number three on the list of cons for living in Annapolis is the roads get congested. Annapolis is a historic town, and the roadway layout reflects that it's 300 years old. I mean, you got twists and turns, and it gets nutty. Annapolis traffic gets congested. It's located on the peninsula, so there's one or two ways in and then coming out. Everybody's coming out. Commuting there, absolutely. Sorry, ladies, it sucks. It does. But you know what? Here, I'll give you another bonus for the number three con. Parking's a real pain in the arse. It is absolutely parking in Annapolis. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. But I love Annapolis. Number four on the list for cons for Annapolis, a lot of people don't realize it. It's got high crime rates. Yup, it does. It's got a higher crime rate than the national average, and everybody always wants to talk about Baltimore and all that, but look, it's state capital. There are swaths of poverty. There's areas that are lacking infrastructure. The higher cost of living is going to create some of that. And of course, there's socio-economic factors that play into that reason of why the crime rate is high. It's 28% higher than the national average. So again, not here to steer you, but you got to know what's up. You can look at spotcrime.crime. That'll guide you. I'm not here to guide you and steer you. I promise you. I told you I'd be straight with you. Number five on the list, welcome to Maryland. It gets humid. Humid during the summer, and the winters, I call it the Baltimore Raw, and I'll explain that in a second. Annapolis, because of its location next to the Chesapeake Bay, the summer's going to be hot, they're going to be muggy, and they're going to be humid. The air, can be real heavy during the summer. But what's cool about the area is that you might have it for a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, but then there's always a break. And it's all because, again, you're close to that water. And if you're close to the water, sometimes it's going to generate mosquitoes. So you just got to be aware of that. The winters, because, again, that humidity is in the air. It's not that bone dry, out there in the Midwest. We get that humidity, creates a rawness. It gets in your bones. It's cold. Cold. January is the worst month. But you know what? We have breaks. We might have a 65-degree weather on a February day. But that's just for real. You just got to know that. It's part of it. You can't change it. But it ain't Texas, 115 degrees every single day for 3 months. Crazy. Number six on the list for Annapolis cons. You got to be aware of this. Where you live, where you buy. Flood. It does flood in Annapolis, and it's common. Annapolis is built on a low slab, and the flooding can be a problem in certain areas, depending on where you live. You might even need flood insurance, something you got to talk about to your lender. You may be required, and flood insurance is not cheap. That's another factor that you got to think about in your budget. I have several clients in Annapolis that have never had any issues, but it all depends on where you're purchasing. So heads up to that. For example, we just had a nor'easter last week. That's a storm coming up from the south, rising to the northeast, and it brings a lot of rain. In those low-lying areas, it absolutely flooded. The city dock area in the historic district of Annapolis, it all flooded out last week, but they're used to that. So just, again, eyes wide open so you know what's going on. So, again, I want you to know everything you got, the good, the bad, and the ugly about Annapolis. Ha! Number 7 for cons, which equals the total goes to 13, my lucky number. Annapolis can be dull. How about that? You didn't expect that. Annapolis is a waterfront lifestyle. It's tucked away. It's mellow. It's not New York City. Yeah, it's a small town. There's plenty of things to do in Annapolis, culture-wise, or to get out, but it ain't go, go, go. It's chill. You just bring it down. I love that about Annapolis, but you got to be prepared for that. If you want go, 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 check out my next video. The #1 place to live in Baltimore, Maryland. Ha! You'll love that. Love you, Baltimore.